and it would all be over for the two of us. But I was heartsick and weary, too weary to fight him any longer. "Here," I said, handing over the bag. "I hate the Chauncey boat. The only chance it will give you tonight is a chance to squander what little we have. If you lose this money, we'll be sleeping out in the open, at the mercy of whoever happens to pass by. If you lose it, you'll lose what little self-respect you have left. But you're my father, and I can't make your choices for you." He looked at me directly, just for a moment, and I thought I saw a glimmer of understanding in his eyes. But it was gone as quickly as it had appeared. "You hate me," he muttered. "You despise your own father." I could have told him the truth, that I hated his weakness, that I hated his anger, that the days and months and years of looking after him and keeping him out of trouble and protecting him from himself had worn me down. But I loved him too. He was my father. I loved the man he used to be, and I still hadn't given up hope that some day he could be that man again. "No, father," I said, plodding after him as he strode ahead, for the prospect of a game and a win had put new life in his step. "I'm cold and tired, that's all. Too tired to mind my words." As we made our way closer to the lights of the Chauncey boat, which rocked gently in the dark water beside a small jetty, I was aware of pale eyes watching me from the branches of the pines. I did not allow myself a glance toward them. Small feet shuffled in the fallen leaves and pattered along behind us a way, then skipped off into the woods. I did not allow myself to turn back. A whisper teased at me. "Neryn! Neryn, we are here!" I closed my ears to it. I had been hiding my secret for years, since grandmother had explained the peril of canny gifts. I had become adept at concealment. I stiffened my spine and gritted my teeth. Maybe there would be nobody on the Chauncey boat but its captain Fowler, who had some understanding of my father's situation. Who would want to spend such a chilly night playing games anyway? Who would be visiting such an out-of-the-way place as Darkwater? We had come here because the settlement lay so far from well-travelled roads. We had come because nobody knew us in these parts, except Fowler, and we had not expected him. But Fowler wouldn't talk. He was a bird of passage, a loner. Before we set foot on the jetty, I knew the Chauncey boat held a crowd. Their voices came to us through the stillness of the night, discordant and out of place under the dark, silent sky. Nobody was about in the settlement, though here and there shutters stood half open, revealing the glow of lamps within the modest houses. The rising moon threw dancing light on the waters of the loch, as if to show us the way on board the fishing vessel that housed Fowler's place of entertainment. The Chauncey boat went from loch to loch, from bay to bay, never 2 nights at one mooring. They said Fowler had been a peerless warrior in the old time, the time before King Keldec. I'd heard tell that he had fought in far eastern realms, where the sun shone so hot the land was all dust, and the wind made eldritch creatures out of heat and sand. To be a warrior in Alban now was to be an agent of Keldec's will. It was no calling for a man of conscience. I felt a strong desire to stay in the settlement, to crouch beside a wall or in the lee of a cottage and wait for it all to be over. The prospect of an evening on a boat full of drunken, combative men made me shrink into myself. But I couldn't leave father on his own. There was nobody else to stop him from drinking too much, from speaking when he should be silent, from wasting our last coppers in a futile attempt to win back the pride he had lost years ago. So I followed him along the jetty, over the creaking plank, and into the crowded cabin of the boat. The place stank of sweat and ale. The moment I stepped through the door I could feel men's eyes on me, assessing me, wondering why my father had brought me here and what advantage could be taken from the situation. I stayed just inside the entry, trying to make myself invisible, while father greeted Fowler with a too hearty clap on the shoulder. Within moments he was